Hey Danny, how are you?
I'm very well. Good morning from here.
How's everything going with you?
Very well. Very good. We thank God. How about you?
Everything's okay. Everything's okay. We're doing well here. If you could do a quick introduction, tell me a bit about yourself, what you do, how you do it.
Okay. My name is Daniel Okon Daniel, and currently I serve as the co-founder and chief executive for Powerlabs Limited. Briefly, this is about the fifth startup I'm running. Right from my first startup was in my second year in the university, Global Touch Foundations. We started that, and since then it's been a progressive growth with running different startups and now Power Labs Limited. And yeah, basically that. And I'm a very determined person. I always see solutions and I try to, like when I see a challenge, I try to birth solutions to them.
That's beautiful. I've heard a lot and seen a lot about Power Labs. It's interesting what you guys are doing. It's very cool. And before I start, I have a questions for you, just so everyone knows more about you and your background and how you do things. I'll give you a quick introduction about myself. My name is Ryan Yazbek. I'm the founder and creative director of Cosmic Enterprises. We're a transformation consultancy that does everything from branding to software and technology systems. So basically, we help businesses scale up and grow and market. So
Okay, great.
from what I know, Power Labs is literally turning waste into wattage. What was the aha moment that sparked this idea?
Uh, so we try to okay. So my mom always says something. Whenever you want to do something, find the low hanging fruit. What is the low hanging fruit? So we were like we've been trying to find a solution to power in our immediate community, immediate environment, and it was looking like it's going to be a whole big deal and all that until we tried to we realized back in our local environment we have a lot of laptop batteries, a lot of things that we are people discard, and we realized that we can actually um, extract those cells to create some sort of storage for power, for backup when power goes out. And that's how we all started. That's how the whole movement started back in 2017 with the research and all that. So we started putting battery packs, little cells actually together to create storage. So we have pictures and videos of our very early days, how it started. And that was it for us. And we're like, whoa, if we can create some sort of bank to store power, as then we can actually make it a proper solution. And that's how it started for us, finding turning waste into power.
That's pretty cool. I feel like not a lot of people like think of that when they, look at batteries generally, which is which is pretty cool what you guys are doing. Making do of something that people just see as garbage, basically.
Right.
And so when people hear energy startup, they often think big budgets and big grids.
Absolutely.
And based on what you told me, I feel like that wasn't the case for you specifically. So how did you start?
Okay. So when we started, okay. So we had different ideas from the storage, right? When we started building this little storage, we had to find a way to actually transmit power to that storage that does not actually depend on the national grid. So we had to we first of all tried to create a mini dam in like a portable dam. So what did we do? We bought electric motors. We tried to 3D print paddles that would actually, if the motor turns the paddle, then it generates water. But something had to turn the motor itself. So, and being that we're trying to get away from uh, fossil fuels, depending on petrols and all of that, we had to find something else to turn these electric motor, which in turn turns these turbines and all that. But it was becoming so difficult and all that. But one thing kept ringing in my head, and my team, apparently we were only two at the time, and where my mom would always say, start with the low hanging fruit. So that was a question we had to keep asking ourselves: what is the low hanging fruit here? So we were reading a lot, trying to see how to get this thing to work. So we got boards, so these breadboards from scrap, already used materials like computer power packs and all that. We started scavenging for what do you call it, components to put on that, and then to actually create a circuit that we wanted, and of course building an inverter. So we found, like, you could find us walking on the streets, going to electrical shops, from one electrical shop to another, to scavenge for parts, electronic parts and all of that, to put it together to actually make an inverter. And this was very, very affordable. These were next to nothing since they were scraps, and until we built our first prototype, and it worked. It actually powered the house for 37 minutes and some seconds,
Oh,
and it was,
okay.
yeah, it was a very emotional moment for us. And we knew that if we could power this home, but it was just a small house. In fact, I'm going to say we were in a single, a one room apartment or something like that.
But still, like,
And
this is the prototype you're talking about, right?
sorry.
This is the prototype you're talking about, right?
Yes, that's the
Yeah,
prototype.
that's pretty
Yeah.
impressive. I would
Yeah,
say.
it was amazing. And that was it. And we knew from there on that we can actually keep improving it. And that's how it was for us. That's how it went.
Wow, wow, you guys came a long way. But still,
Absolutely.
it's a pretty impressive start, I would say, in my opinion. It's not something, even in the big nations, it's not something that people think of or try to take initiative in and just make it happen the way you did.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. So
Yeah.
your philosophy says Africa's power problem won't be solved by imports, but by innovation.
Yeah.
What does that look like in real terms?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
For, okay, your philosophy says Africa's power problem won't be solved by imports, but by innovation.
Yeah.
So what would that look like in real terms, like in real life? What's that
Okay.
like? How do you see
Basically,
it?
sorry.
How do you see it?
Okay, so to explain that, first of all, we mean that solutions
Hmm.
must be designed for our realities, right? Unstable grids, tough climates, and cost incentive sensitive markets. Innovation for us is using locally available materials, and building modular systems, and embedding smart firmwares to make every watt count, really. Because we are the ones here and experiencing the how it is with us. We know where it hurts. We know how we respond to these things, how it affects us, and we would understand best to tailor our solutions to meet the problems that we are facing here. We cannot depend on external solutions, and our solutions must be built by Africans for Africans in Africa, because we best understand where it hurts, and that's why we say that.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense, I think, because when you're facing the problem yourself, it's always like through struggle, people thrive because they know
Yep,
how it is and how it works and how it should be. So they kind of like
absolutely.
start designing the solutions to their problems through that, which makes perfect sense. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
All right. So many African startups chase software. You chose hardware. Why this path?
Wow. That's a very interesting one. So yeah, we understand that software is the real, deal out there and everything and all that. But we chose hardware because someone has to build the backbone. We are proving that African hardware can be smart, right, and sustainable and globally competitive, really. The solution for us, for the problem we chose, had to be hardware, right? And there is no software solution to resolve the energy crisis,
Obviously. Obviously. I mean,
really.
like you could have chosen the easier path that, compared to what you do. I mean, that
Exactly.
most people would take, just like, because that's what's available. That's what can at least make
Exactly.
me sustain
Mhm.
myself, on a personal level. But you're like,
Yeah,
no, I want to solve a problem for everyone, not for just myself.
absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what birthed the whole thing. And I have a very amazing chief technical officer who is very forward thinking, and together we have projections and we'll achieve a lot. It hurts that, growing up in a community where we came from, and with a personal encounter that was almost life threatening, you just cannot tell. Someone had to get up to say, hey, we need to take this problem by the horn. We need to actually tackle it head on, and that's what we had to do, and it had to be hardware, you know
Yeah, yeah. You decided to just grab the ball and throw it on the ground.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. All right. So, I have a question. Like, what's one misconception people have about clean or renewable energy in Africa? Like, I don't know much about that specifically. And you have, if
Okay.
anyone would have insights, it would be you.
Okay. I think one of the major misconceptions that we personally experience is that if it is built, if it becomes cheaper when it is built locally, and not import solutions built for different environments. But yeah, it's cheaper. That's one misconception that people actually have, that we've actually experienced. But affordability, or should I say cheaper, does not actually equal affordability, right? If I have to put it that way. So we've had people coming to say, oh, after all, it's built here, so it should be way cheaper than. And we're like, oh no. So we have to educate people on how this, why certain cost implications are there and all that, in as much as we're still the most affordable in the market, but these misconceptions are there. Also, we've had to educate people on solar power in itself, because we have persons, especially in our community where we are developing, we've had people tell us a lot that it is unsafe. Solar energy is not safe. It puts, it burns people's homes and all of that. But we've gotten to educate people pretty well about the advantages of solar power and how it's actually more beneficial than the alternatives that people have.
Okay. Now, speaking of educating people, I don't have much background about, hardware specifically, even in hardware in general, but specifically the hardware you're doing, right?
Yeah.
Uh, you're transforming uh, Powerlabs generally is transforming everyday waste into usable energy. Can you walk us through the process in simple terms? In
Okay.
terms me and people like me would understand, basically.
Okay. How we do that? So simply, in very simple terms, um, Mr. A wants power, and we can provide power. Mr. A is tired of the national grid that keeps failing and cannot afford an expensive generator and the expensive petrol prices and all of that. So Mr. A comes to us and says, "Hey, I want an alternative power. Can you help me?" And we say, "Yes." We bring a battery together. We put down the cells together, bring our components and everything connected to the cells, generate an inverter that would help convert the power from the storage to light, actually, to your home. And of course, we put all this together for the sake of, I'm trying to keep this very simple so I don't get to tell IP and all of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I get
So
that. Company secrets.
yeah, so we put this together and we put it in a very portable box, and we tell you, hey, if you want to travel to your village, you want to leave your home and go to your village, or you want to leave your home, travel to any, maybe go for a picnic or go to somewhere else, you can actually carry your units with you. So we tell you we're giving you power that is sustainable and that is portable and is very affordable and easily accessible. So we do that, put that in a box, and we give it to you for, in exchange for value. So you give us money, we give you value, we solve your problem. That
That's pretty
simple.
cool. That's pretty cool. Like anyone could be like a walking generator, basically.
Absolutely.
That's cool. That's cool. All right. You like in a previous conversation, you've mentioned that sustainability isn't a Western luxury, but an African necessity. How do we get more people to see it that way?
Okay. Well, it's sustainability is in Africa is not optional because first of all, Africa has a lot of talents, and we have it's we have a lot that we have in us. Like um, there's so much. We have so much resources around us. We have a lot of. We have access to these things, right? And for us to thrive, for us to survive, we have to think forward. We have to be innovative, and our innovation has to be sustainable, right? So before we have to look outside, we have to look inwards first to say, hey, can we solve this thing? And I think naturally as Africans we are very resourceful, right? And because we come up, like, look at us, for example, Power Labs, and we have a lot of units, inverters that come in from across the world, and people come to tell us, oh, they put a price tag on it, and they tell us, hey, this is over 7 million naira, this is a lot. But we are saying no, we can do this in our home. We can do this within Africa. We can solve this problem from our base, and we can help others live, right? So it is a survive. It's survival, really. It's survival for us. So basically, um, uh, sustainability, that's the whole storytelling thing, and talking about where you come from and all that would also inspire others to say, hey, if this person from my community can solve this problem, can do this, then I can also find a solution to maybe the smallest problem I have as well. And that way the energy spreads across the ecosystem. And that's what we mean, really.
No. Oh, okay. That's great. Okay, I can sense that. This whole thing means a lot to you. You know that.
Absolutely.
So I would like us to get a bit more personal in that sense. I
Okay.
would like you told me how it's done, how things are done. I'd like to know the story behind all that. And
Oh,
so I'd like to ask, what was the toughest moment in building Power Labs, and how did you push through it?
wow. Major moments we had faced had been when we broke into the Abuja market. So that is one of the states in Nigeria. We broke into the Abuja market and we encountered a totally different experience entirely. People wanted more power than we were offering, and then that came at the moment where we were at a certain phase, and when we broke into that market, I dare say we were not ready, and that took us hard because we thought it was going to be a gentle movement into that market, but it came with a wave. It came with a whole wave, and we had to really try to tackle that. So we encountered certain problems with the unit, we encountered setbacks, but that did not deter us. We took the customer feedback, went back to our drawing board, and asked ourselves, what were we doing wrong? And we had to resolve the problem, think, brainstorm amongst the team, come up with a solution, and go back out. So we had to recall a lot of units. We had to recall the unit. We had to. It took us to a place where we're like, well, this would this be the end for us and all that. But we stood our grounds. We and as God would have it, because we really understand that what we do is as first as an inspiration from God and the strength from Him to push through what we have to do, and then understanding that we had ideas, great ideas to resolve the problem, and today we've been able to penetrate the Abuja market. We've solved the problem. We gave them bigger units, better units, and stronger units to actually meet their needs. So yeah, that was about the moment.
Yeah, but it made you. I feel like these, these hiccups usually you face when building a business. These are usually the turning points, so you can like reconsider everything you're doing and kind of like take your business to a different place.
A different level. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a saying I used to hear growing up, which says basically, if you want to go fast, go alone. And if you want to go
Go
far,
alone,
go
go with
together.
people.
So
And to actually add to that, sorry to interject, we've been able to surround ourselves with the most amazing team, I would say. We have Powerlabs Limited has the most amazing team, I dare say. I don't think I could have asked for a better team. And when people come in, when people join us as staff, as investors or something, I dare say they are in the best boat, right? Because we are forward thinking, we are innovative, and we are resilient with what we are doing.
I
So
was actually
yes,
gonna ask you like who were your early believers to turn this idea into reality.
in, into a business.
Yeah,
Well,
was
well, it's family and friends. It always starts with family and friends, you know,
yeah.
and
But you
family
also
would
have
be
that team. I feel like you're very, very tight with your team. Which is it's always,
right.
yeah, having a great team. Like I can even tell you from a person experience, having
Absolutely.
a great team is what makes or breaks the company. Any
Yeah,
kind of.
and to even put a personal story to that, you see what really drives us, what really drives our motivation. When we're building our prototype, we had so my grandmother had to go to the hospital for a surgery, and it was really crazy that in the hospital where she was, power had to go off, power failed. Now I'm just going to be as quick as possible with this. And they told us the backup generator couldn't come on. In fact, they had to call someone to get the generator to come on, and we had to pay extra exorbitantly to get diesel to power the generator and all that. And the I we just had a prototype in the car. I had a prototype in the car. And what did we do at the time? I went to the matron of the hospital. It's a small hospital in our clinic, in our community. And I spoke with her and I asked her to please, if I can actually power the key instruments in the theater to get the surgery done successfully. You see, and that's what we did. And the surgery was successful. And today the woman is alive. She's over 86 years old. On the 10th of October, she turned 86. You see, so there's
God,
even a personal story behind this, that you see we cannot let this go. This has to go on, because we are saving lives, we're impacting homes, and we are changing lives and how people experience energy. So it's a whole personal journey for us.
wow, that's pretty inspiring. That's pretty inspiring. I respect that. I respect that. So, if Power Labs had a slogan that captures your mission beyond business,
Okay.
What would it be?
Lighting up Africa, one recycled watt at a time. And it couldn't be more. And currently, what we say is lighting up Africa, one home at a time, really. And that's what it is. One home, one hospital, one school at a time.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you've had even personal experiences with that. It's not just about observing and even the
Mhm.
hospital story. Like, it's not just about observing what the market needs and delivering.
Yeah,
You're
not
living
just
through it. You've worked with communities directly impacted by energy poverty.
absolutely.
And would you say is there like any other story than what you told me that kind of like reminds you why you do this work? How often do you face these kind of stories?
Well, apart from we're trying to do a project for a school back then. I think that was was that last year, year before last, or thereabout, during a pilot project in a rural community. And the school principal told us that students could now actually study at night because they said the students, so they had to use, some of them had torchlights, some of them had lanterns that they would use to read. They would, and then, there's even an incident that happened way back then with my CTO, where he was studying in the night with a candle and he fell asleep, right? And when he fell asleep, mistakenly, the candle had actually burned down to a level where the fire caught up on the piece of paper on the paper that was on the table and began to burn the books. What actually helped him was that the mom was at home, and she's a light sleeper, like he said. It was the mom who perceived the burning smell and came up to wake him and douse the flame and all of that. And that was how that fire incident was averted. Also, in these rural communities, when we go into these communities, you see that students don't have light to actually read in the night. They use lanterns. They have to go out to find kerosene. And kerosene here, especially in the southern part of Nigeria, is a scarce commodity and it's super expensive. So imagine students having to find get money, or parents had to find a way to support their wards in those rural communities to buy kerosene that is expensive so they can study. It's difficult. And seeing that breaks our heart. And we get to understand that we have to do this. We have to make this possible. And it has to be as affordable as possible for everyone to have this opportunity to access power.
Wow, it's it's a lot to digest. It's a lot to
Honestly,
digest. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
very,
You get to experience this and to witness people going through this, and for people to go through these kind of experiences altogether, these sad experiences that could result in ending lives.
absolutely.
Yeah. Now I would like to talk about a bit about the future of energy in Africa.
Okay.
What
Okay.
does Africa's energy revolution mean to you personally?
Simply, in very simple terms, as when I saw this question, I sat down and I was trying to think it out and break it down as simple as possible. And in very simple terms, Africa's energy revolution means independence. In one word, independence. The ability to generate, store, distribute our own power sustainably. It's about creating energy solutions by Africans for Africa. Period. As simple
Right.
as that.
So building a self-sustaining community, basically.
Absolutely. An ecosystem that is self sustaining.
That's that's the dream. That's the dream, my guy.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. If you could redesign how Africa's government approaches renewable energy, what would change first?
Sorry, could you take that again?
Yeah, if you could redesign how Africa governments approach renewable energy, what would change first?
If the African government had to look
If
into
you
clean
could,
energy,
yeah, if you could redesign how Africa's government approaches renewable energy,
okay,
like if you personally had to redesign this,
okay, what
what
would
would
it
change? Yeah.
I think I would first of all I would empower local energy startups that are that have attraction, that are building towards clean energy.
Hmm.
I would empower them first. Secondly, I would stop imports of solutions that are coming in to because these solutions are coming in to still litter the market. I've had people that imported solar energy solutions, and the maximum period it ran them for were 2 years and all that. We've had people come to us to tell us, oh, help us fix I'm not going to mention the brands, help us fix this unit. I just got it last year and it has failed now. And by the time most of these units come in and they don't even last, most people that don't even know these things can be recycled will just trash them and try to get a new one. That keeps building on the electronic waste in the community. And what we are also trying to do is to reduce the electronic waste and carbon footprint in our community. So the first thing I'll do after empowering these startups, I'm creating systems for them to thrive, proper market systems for them to build and expand. I would stop imports because these ones within Africa are trying to make the energy ecosystem sustainable, and
Mm.
so I would imports would come in to disrupt that process. So I would stop the imports after the empowerment. So those are the two major things I would do, and the rest would follow.
All right, all right. And where do you see the biggest opportunity for innovation in Africa's clean energy sector over the next decade?
Decentralized energy systems, really smart decentralized energy systems, hybrid solar solutions, microgrids, very important for small clusters in rural communities, microgrids, and intelligent batteries designed for African energy mix. Basically, I think that's about how I would group that, because these things would power the communities faster than centralized grids would ever do. And we're seeing it every day. We're experiencing it in Nigeria, So yeah.
Okay, and all this, what role do young engineers and entrepreneurs play in making sustainable energy mainstream?
Uh, they bring a fresh thinking and digital innovation, really. And when we empower them with tools, that's mentorship. So we have a program where every year, young people from the university, from I think from third year, come to do internship with us during their vacation, and those in their fourth year, because engineering in Nigeria is 5 years. So those
Mm.
in their third and fourth year. So the third year guys are just with us for their vacation, and the fourth year guys are actually doing their internship officially from the university. So we've gotten a system where they come to do that with us, and we've seen a lot of remarkable innovation, like innovative thinking that comes from them during our brainstorming sessions. So they bring that fresh thinking and innovation to the table. And when we empower them like that, when we give them an opportunity to have a hands-on experience on what they are learning, what they are studying, it goes a long way to help open their minds up. So that way we can accelerate Africa's transition from energy consumers to energy creators, really. And Power Labs doesn't really look to do this on their own. We're looking to see other local startups that are looking at energy in one form or the other to transform the energy, because it's a whole broad sector, and we're looking to work with them and partner with them to execute this solution one step at a time.
All right. All right, that sounds fantastic. I wish you all the best, guys. That's
Thank you. Thank you.
I can sense it's going places, and then it's gonna be hopefully in a year from now in a much bigger, much better place. 'Cause I can
Absolutely.
see the potential. Now, I would like to know what's the most unconventional material you've ever tried to generate power from.
The most unconventional material we've
Yeah,
attempted to generate power from.
yeah,
Hmm. Well, in the course of this, I think that would be the whole battery thing we're talking about, and I think we've also tried we okay. There's something we're trying to do way back. We're trying to, you know, do some crazy, okay, what we say, some mad stuff, where we were trying to create a system that would help us break down water into like the molecules of water, hydrogen and oxygen, and therefore using the hydrogen part of it to power a system and all that. I think that was a little bit very unconventional and far-fetched, and of course cost implications were like through the roof, and we had to put that on hold yet, but it's not gone. We're still looking forward to doing that, you know. So I think that's about that on that.
yeah. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see
Absolutely.
that how that works. All right. Uh, no, that's an odd question. But if Power Labs had a soundtrack, what song would play in the background? Oh, we're gonna pick
um,
you up.
the champions, really. I don't know how does that song go? The champions and all that, but
We are the
really,
champions.
we are the champions, and
My
you know,
queen.
stuff like
Okay, okay, fair enough. Yeah, yeah.
that. I mean,
I love that song. Yeah,
it's
that makes
I
sense.
say that because it's not easy running a startup in Nigeria, Africa. In fact, it's not easy. It's you have markets that are not stable, unstable markets. You have supply chains that are crazy. So if you're pulling through and you're pushing one step at a time and having traction, having results, and clocking milestones, come on, you're a champion. You're doing a lot.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. 100%. Listen, there's no such thing as easy success. There's no easy way to, to get where
Yeah,
you want to get. You will get
yeah,
a lot of walls that you face, and you just have to push through it and break through the walls, and that's how you get there. And
absolutely,
most people
absolutely.
don't. Most businesses, I think, through what I've seen, most businesses fail not because they didn't have, like, let's say, per se, a good business model. It's just
Yeah,
because they quit. That's it. They quit. They
absolutely.
face, some hardships, and they're like, "Nah, I'm out." uh, yeah.
Absolutely. And you
So
know, we have this thing that we say at work and here in our community, I am because we are, you know, and that really goes a lot, and that's why we try to, everyone that we like, you know, that we work together, that as a part of this, that we call ourselves a family, basically, because everything works with everyone's input. No one person can get everything done, you know,
100%.
and
The power of
understanding
we.
that synergy, yeah, really helps a lot, and it really helps us.
Yeah. All right. If you weren't in energy, what surprising career might you have chosen?
A career, if I was not in energy, or if I was not in the entrepreneurship uh, business.
Sorry?
So I want the question to be a bit more direct. Is it if I
Yeah.
was not into energy as an entrepreneur, or if I was not in the
Yeah.
entrepreneurial lineup at
No,
all?
if you weren't into energy.
Okay, it would have been my finance. It would have been finance. I've always been crazy about finance. I've always been crazy about how do fintech solutions as well. And I think I'm still gonna, you know, I've been thinking at a solution towards the fintech part. But if I wasn't in energy, it would have been fintech. If it wasn't fintech, it would have been medicals. Those are the three major.
Wow.
Uh,
Okay. Okay. They're not.
yeah, they're
They're
medical
not very
companies.
close.
Absolutely,
Yeah, but
because
that's interesting though.
mhm. The even why medicals came in. So Nigeria has a little bit, a very, should I say, warped or a little bit not up to standard emergency medical response solutions, and that is a problem that someone needs to solve. So yeah.
All right. So, okay. That's okay. So before we end this interview, I'd like you to finish a sentence.
Okay.
The future of power in Africa will be dot dot dot.
Smart. It would be
Okay.
smart. It will be sustainable and proudly made in Africa.
All right.
Smart, sustainable, proudly made in
Proudly
Africa.
made in Africa.
Yeah. Our
I love.
major kickers, we have three major kickers: smart, sustainable, and affordable, majorly, but proudly made in Africa.
I love that. I love that. All right, Daniel. It was an absolute pleasure.
Thank you
Talking
very
to
much.
you, getting to know your story. And I wish you guys the best of luck.
Thank you so much,
Although I'm
Ryan.
not a humongous believer in luck per se, you guys are doing a fantastic job. I can see that you're heading you're heading to good places. And
Thank you very much.
I support you all the way.
Thank you.
So
Thank you
yeah,
so much. Thank you.
it was a
All
pleasure
right.
talking to you, and you take care of yourself.
Thank you very much. You too. Be good, Ryan. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.